Today on Soft Tech Briefs, we're looking at why dedicated teams are often the right choice for outsourced software projects, how the model works, when it fits best, and what to watch for when you adopt it. Modern businesses have more options than ever when looking to outsource software development. There's the extended team, which affords short-term collaboration and temporary adjustment to in-house staff. There's the freelancer route, which is cheaper but mainly used for one-time assignments. And then there's the dedicated team, which is where our focus lies today. Dedicated development teams are all about dedication and commitment, a commitment to you, your organization, and your aspirations for software creation. In this model of outsourcing software projects, the team provider takes into account everything you need to develop your software or application and provides it accordingly without you having to manage every detail yourself. These provisions range from professionals in varied IT disciplines to development infrastructure and testing frameworks. Because of this, the dedicated team model remains favored by companies that possess limited resources and expertise but would like to outsource software development without excessive oversight. Why is the dedicated team model best suited for outsourced projects? One reason dedicated team outsourcing sounds like a strong choice for most firms is that it's a comprehensive solution addressing multiple strategic aspects of outsourced projects at the same time. Unlike traditional outsourcing models like team augmentation or freelance services, where developers work on a temporary basis and sometimes with little background information, developers working under the dedicated team engagement model get a full picture of what the project is about because they're involved from the very beginning. The team is assembled to focus on a single product's development, from ideation through deployment and after-launch maintenance. Dedicated software development teams continue to thrive in the face of shifting requirements, fixed timelines, and high technical proficiency needed on outsourced projects because they're exclusive and pull out all the stops to ensure client projects remain on track, even when unexpected challenges or last-minute changes occur. The dedicated development team model excels in particular kinds of projects and tasks. Dedicated teams show consistent commitment and adaptability to changing project scopes for long-term development projects, including building and maintaining sophisticated software or digital platforms. Their fit with the customer's procedures guarantees a smooth flow even when priorities change. Projects with uncertain requirements can gain much from this approach. Launching a startup or developing a product in a fast-changing market depends on the flexibility of a committed team that makes iterative development and response to new needs possible. In such situations, their capacity to change with feedback and modify their approach is invaluable. The dedicated development team model provides unmatched benefits for complex technological solutions where specialized knowledge and advanced abilities matter most. Customers can leverage a pool of specialist experts catered to the particular needs of their project: programmers, DevOps engineers, React Native developers, UX designers, data analysts, project managers, and more. This availability of skill guarantees creative ideas without the overhead of internal staff employment. Dedicated teams close the gap between vision and execution by matching their experience with the particular needs of outsourced projects, producing outcomes that other models sometimes find difficult. For this reason, they're a great help to companies navigating the complexity of contemporary project development. Why should you choose the dedicated team model for outsourcing? What makes the dedicated development team model the right choice for forward-thinking organizations goes beyond its flexibility for project management or opportunities for long-term engagement. These teams transform how businesses approach software and web development by offering a method of project development that is devoid of operational gaps and tailored to specific client goals. But it doesn't stop there. Here are 4 more reasons you might want to pick a dedicated team for your next project. Focus on precision. When a dedicated team is on your project, distractions disappear. They integrate deeply to understand your goals and the nuances of your industry. They don't multitask between a dozen different clients. They put singular focus on your vision, maintaining precision and consistency throughout. Built-in flexibility. Outsourcing requires flexibility, and that's where the dedicated team model steps in. Need to ramp up your team mid-project? Want to change the scope of work upon new insights? Dedicated teams are ready to evolve with your project and pivot to accommodate new instructions without losing momentum. Cost-saving expertise. Cost efficiency isn't about compromises. It's about value maximization. With access to worldwide talent, dedicated teams offer elite expertise for a fraction of the cost of maintaining an in-house team. It's about achieving the best value for every dollar spent, not simply spending less. Deep integration. Dedicated teams are much more than a third-party partner. Every developer on the team gets deep into your business culture and ingrains themselves into your project as if they were your own employees. That level of integration can breed trust, iron out workflows, and bridge any gap between vision and execution. How dedicated teams enhance collaboration in outsourcing. Companies often prefer dedicated teams because they can deliver impressive outcomes without being supervised constantly. Yet that ability to work with little oversight doesn't make the dedicated team model any less cooperative than other outsourcing approaches. In fact, outsourcing software development to dedicated teams can give you more opportunities for collaboration. Let's look at the aspects of the dedicated team approach that strengthen collaboration between you and your dedicated software development team. A unified vision based on mutual understanding. The cornerstone of any successful collaboration is alignment, which dedicated teams cultivate by taking the time to understand the client's goals and values. This common vision bridges gaps, allowing the team to approach each task with both clarity and intention. With regular discussion and feedback loops, you and your team stay in sync, minimizing miscommunication and maximizing productivity. Transparent workflows. Collaboration works best when everyone is on the same wavelength, and with dedicated teams, advanced collaboration tools make that easier. Real-time task tracking, centralized documentation, and fluid communication platforms ensure everyone in the loop has an accurate perspective of where things stand. That transparency builds trust and empowers each individual involved to contribute to the project's successful outcomes. A culture embracing inclusivity and open dialogue. Dedicated teams aren't just service providers. They're collaborators deeply embedded in the client's ecosystem. By adopting the client's workflows and fostering inclusivity, they bridge gaps that often arise in outsourced arrangements. Open communication channels encourage team members to share ideas freely, driving innovation and preventing bottlenecks. Adaptability through versatile collaboration frameworks. Collaboration isn't static, and neither are dedicated teams. Dedicated team providers offer different engagement models so they can adapt to the unique requirements of any project. That adaptability means the team can evolve with the project to accommodate changes in scope or strategy without disruptions in the partnership. When to choose the dedicated team model for outsourcing? For many business leaders and managers, the decision to choose dedicated team services over developers who work on short-term projects is often driven by the need for customized solutions and long-term partnerships. The dedicated team model satisfies these criteria well, but when exactly is it the right choice for your project? Long-term development projects that change in scope. If you have a large software development initiative that requires constant updating, iteration, and maintenance, a dedicated development team is the better fit. A stable team of professionals can work on the project throughout its lifecycle, and their understanding of the product and its changing needs improves over time. Intricate projects necessitating specialized knowledge and skills. Certain software projects are so complex that their realization may require human resources with experience in state-of-the-art technologies, or even in obscure programming languages or frameworks. Under such conditions, it becomes indispensable to put together a dedicated development team of experts, able to promptly address challenges and design solutions to barriers the development process may encounter. Projects that require close cooperation and confidentiality. When working on a project that warrants the utmost security, you may want the details of your software development kept out of the public eye. A dedicated team can be effective here because the team structure facilitates direct communication between stakeholders and developers, enabling clients to convey their vision, obtain updates on progress, and make real-time adjustments as necessary. Projects needing deep immersion in corporate objectives. If a project calls for comprehensive awareness of your business goals and vision, a dedicated team is the best possible fit. These units operate as an extension of your company, matching their development approaches to your broader vision. Their full-time attention guarantees the subtleties of your objectives are incorporated into every deliverable, promoting consistency and excellence. Potential challenges of outsourcing with dedicated teams. Every outsourcing model has its upsides and downsides, and the dedicated team model is no exception. For all the benefits it provides, it also presents potential pitfalls you need to consider before finalizing your decision. Navigating leadership gaps. The success of a dedicated team depends on well-defined direction. For clients not familiar with running remote teams, this can prove difficult. Even the most capable teams run the risk of veering off course without a strong project manager or defined duties. The fix? Define your hierarchy so you know who to hold accountable for what. Designate a specific liaison to stay in touch with the latest project developments and monitor progress using project management tools. Coordinating over time zones. Time zone variances can cause communication breakdowns and slow down response times and the decision-making process. Although a global workforce is advantageous in many respects, its management calls for intentional planning. Asynchronous platforms like Loom or Slack, staggered meetings, and overlapping work hours help close the temporal gap. Maintaining cultural cohesion. Diverse teams sometimes bring different work methods and communication styles. Unclear expectations might cause misunderstandings or ineffective behavior. By establishing clear criteria and funding team-building activities, you can create a common sense of purpose that helps build cohesiveness. Balancing costs and commitment. Although cost-effectiveness is an important value for most development companies, underestimating budgetary requirements can complicate engagements. Dedicated teams need tools, training, and continuous support, among other things, to thrive. Scope the project thoroughly before you begin and note the financial cost to avoid surprises down the line. Adapting the dedicated team model to fit specific client needs. Clear demarcation of tasks and responsibilities between the client and the dedicated team provider is important to maximize the possibilities of the dedicated team model. On the client side, you specify project criteria and scope, track benchmarks and gauge team performance, facilitate access to tools, environments, and systems, guarantee channels of open communication and teamwork, and introduce corporate culture to ensure harmony. On the team provider's side, they bring in competent experts to satisfy project requirements, oversee daily activities and team administration, handle employee benefits and compensation, supply workspace and IT systems among other infrastructure, and provide consistent support for the success of projects. Working together with well-defined tasks helps clients and providers guarantee smooth cooperation, customized project execution, and the best results from the dedicated team model. Closing takeaway. All things considered, the dedicated software development team model stands out as a strategic solution for companies trying to stay ahead in today's technologically advanced environment. By using specialized knowledge, flexibility, and scalability, these teams enable businesses to address challenging projects, ensure continuous progress, and accelerate speed to market. Success with this approach, however, depends on choosing the right team and partner to ensure alignment with project goals. When considered carefully, this model provides a spur for creativity and long-term expansion in an always-changing digital landscape. If you'd like to learn more about software development, AI, cloud, data engineering, and digital transformation, visit us at softeller.com.